Congratulations on an absolutely fantastic film. Maybe you could just begin by telling us about Thelma. What was it about this film? Why did you want to make this film?
I mean, in the past, I've made, I guess, more what you could call dramas. And now I want to venture into the supernatural. But we didn't want to make a horror movie that was kind of a slasher or blood and guts type of jump scare film. I think some people do that very well, and that wouldn't be my thing. So what we try to explore is this more allegorical story, where the horrific element, the supernatural, is an internal struggle in the character. So as the film reveals, it's really about a young woman who comes from a very conservative family background, religious parents, and she goes to the city and she falls in love with a girl. And that's, with her background, kind of complicated situation to accept that love. And it turns into kind of a complicated love story with supernatural elements.
And what about working with this cast? You know, Eili, she's absolutely fantastic in that central role, but also Kaya, who I believe it was her first turn acting. She's normally a musician. So yeah. How did you go about selecting these two actresses, and what was it like working with them?
I mean, I think one of the greatest things about the experience of making Thelma was to meet the actors. Seriously, I was very nervous. We'd written this very ambitious script. I knew we needed people that could, you know, a lead actor that could deal with snakes, underwater stunts, like all kinds of things. And that's not always the case with great actors, you know. But we met Eili Harboe, and I mean, she was only 22 when we shot the film, but she's a great star. I mean, now she's getting internationally recognized because of the film, and that makes me very happy. But at the outset as well, I felt that she had what we needed. You know, this subtle, nuanced way of performing, and at the same time, this very gutsy attitude to doing weird things. You know, she went into seizure therapy as an experiment to learn to portray epileptic fits, and you know, all kinds of weird things. But no, it was great. And the other girl, Kaya Wilkins, is a musician. She's never been in front of a camera before. But for some weird reason, I think that as a musician, she has written a lot of personal material. You know, good lyrics. She's a singer-songwriter. And she used that and sort of used that energy and that way of getting into emotional states in her acting. And no, I thought it was great working with them.
I mean, you were mentioning some of the kind of the scenes that we see there of like there's like the bit in the pool, there's the snake. I don't want to give away spoilers, but was there a scene that was particularly challenging to pull off?
I mean, there are some scenes underwater where Thelma gets trapped. And we had to actually build some structures where the actress had to swim underneath and kind of get trapped underwater. And then we had like stunt divers that would, in case she got caught, pull her out. And it's a very, very intimidating situation for a person to be in, to let yourself be trapped underneath something underwater. So that was, and as a director, I'm an old skateboarder, you see. I used to be the Norwegian champion in skateboarding many years ago, and you know, I have this past of filming my friends almost break their neck jumping down staircases and stuff, and there's this kind of, I don't know, this mixed feeling of taking a chance with someone, yet you don't really want them to get hurt. And in Thelma, I got back into that feeling, you know, are we pushing this too far? But it went well.
There seems to be quite a specific style to it. Is this kind of like melancholy kind of look to the film? It does take us to some slightly dark places. Do you draw inspiration from any other filmmakers or any other kinds of film? And did you have anything in mind when you made this one?
I think we are inspired a lot by people like Brian De Palma, Hitchcock, writers like Stephen King, people that have done films that deal with human dilemmas, relatable things, but put them into a thriller or genre perspective. And I think that's fun. I mean, you know, I make movies primarily because I want to create situations and moods, and I want to show people an experience. You know, I couldn't write a book. I'm not just about the story. The kick I get is to have 500 extras in the Oslo Opera House, and then do a suspense scene with ballet going on stage and the actors in the middle of it, and just try to create a big situation and cover it spatially in a way where the audience can feel it. That's what I like.
And it does, you know, it's kind of within this supernatural horror thriller genre, but then you do explore themes of sexuality, and I don't know, about repressing your certain feelings, this element of religion. What's it all really about for you, and what are these key themes that you wanted to get into?
I think the film is about self-acceptance and self-love, and how it's very easy to repress things. And it's a father-daughter story about becoming autonomous as a young, strong woman and finding it difficult because you've been raised with certain expectations and you don't know how to free yourself from them. And I think I needed a basic relatable theme that I want to explore, and then we could kind of use the supernatural elements and as a more of an expressionistic framework, if that makes sense. But I still wanted to have a heart in the middle and to be about internal struggles that we all have to deal with our parents, and whether they're loving and wonderful or whether they're difficult, you still need to find your own space, and that's a struggle I see everyone have to go through. So we thought, like, to make a coming of age version of that, that was kind of the kick.
And what's been the reception so far, and how are you expecting it to play out here in London?
It's been great, actually. In Norway, it's doing great box office, which we're of course happy about. But we had this fun thing where we both screened recently at Fantastic Fest, a special, genre festival in Austin, Texas, and last week the very intellectual and serious New York Film Festival. So we're getting both those crowds, and so I'm very, very happy for now, and I'm looking very much forward to the London screening tonight. I studied here at the National Film and TV School. I lived in London for close to 7 years. And I always used to go to the London Film Festival and watch movies. So it's a real honor to be allowed to screen.
And can you tell us quickly about any upcoming projects? Have you got anything else in the pipeline?
Before I go on to my next fiction film, which I haven't quite decided which one to go for yet, I'm finishing a documentary about Edvard Munch, the Norwegian painter, that I'm doing in collaboration with my brother Emil Trier, who's also a director, and the Norwegian writer Karl Ove Knausgård, that has written the wonderful book series My Struggle. And Karl Ove Knausgård is curating an exhibition with late Munch that's no one's seen before, that's not going to travel the world. And we're making a documentary about Munch's life, late life, which is kind of an untold story. So that's fun and different.
Yeah, very different from this.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask, it does seem like one of Norway's biggest exports is this kind of like horror thriller or like these crime novels that come out. Why is that? Why do you think that's such a potent subject area coming from Norway?
I think there's a kind of in Oslo, for example, where I live, 9 months out of the year it's kind of gray and snowy and dark, and I don't know if that's just like a good setting for thrillers. Maybe it's as simple as that, I don't know. And I also think that we shouldn't underestimate when we talk about sort of national events of culture. It's about the individual artists as well that create this. And we should give people credit. People like Jo Nesbø, for example, has become internationally popular with his crime writing. And then other people will follow that or get attention. I think a lot of the time there's a lot of quality around. You just need something to pop, for people to discover it, and then it becomes a wave.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank
speaking
you.
with us. And
No,
congratulations
it's
again on a great film.
Thank you.
Thanks.